Some obsessions do not disappear just because someone suddenly leaves. And for Bernie Winter in Coronation Street, the most frightening part may not be what Mal Roper has already done, but the fact that this story is clearly far from over. Bernie first met Mal at a hotel earlier this year, at a time when she was grieving the death of Billy Mayhew during the Corriedale tragedy. In that vulnerable state, Bernie got drunk and took drugs with Mal. But there was never anything romantic or physical between them. The problem is that Mal convinced himself there was some special bond between them, and from that point on, he refused to leave Bernie alone. Mal even managed to get some electrical work at Roy's Cafe just to give himself a reason to stay close to her. As time went on, his words made his obsession more and more obvious, as he kept behaving as though the two of them were somehow meant to be together. That is what truly frightened Bernie, because she realized this was no longer a simple misunderstanding. It had become something much more dangerous, a pattern of stalking and fixation. When Bernie told her son, Kit Green, what had been happening, Kit lost his temper and attacked Mal, leaving him in hospital. But that was the moment things took an even darker turn. Mal remembered exactly who had attacked him, and he quickly used that knowledge as a weapon against Bernie. He tried to force her into sleeping with him by threatening not to report to the police. That is the point where this storyline moves well beyond ordinary harassment, because Mal is no longer just obsessed with Bernie. He is actively using her fear to control her. This week, Bernie was surprised when Roy told her that Mal had left Manchester for Inverness. At the same time, she also learned that Jodie Ramsey had been secretly leaving a large number of bad reviews on Mal's website. Bernie and Jodie are hardly close, but Bernie was willing to overlook that strange behavior simply because, at that moment, she believed the head case Mal had finally gone. But that sense of relief may only be temporary. Later that same day, after Bernie waved Roy and Nina off on their trip, she had no idea that Mal was watching her from a distance. That detail makes the whole situation even more unsettling, because it shows that Mal has not let go of Bernie at all. He has not left her life behind. He has simply stepped back into the shadows and is waiting for the right moment. What makes things even more concerning is that Bernie had already told Gemma she hoped Mal would not assume she was the one behind the bad reviews on his website. And that is where Jodie becomes a very unpredictable factor. It is hard to believe Jodie's actions are simply impulsive, especially when she had previously broken into Bernie and Dev's house and cut Bernie's face out of their wedding photos just to stir up more drama with Mal. Someone who goes that far clearly is not just causing harmless trouble. Because of that, the biggest danger now may not come from Mal alone, but from the possibility that Jodie has either accidentally or deliberately pushed Bernie into an even more dangerous position. If Mal becomes convinced that Bernie is the person sabotaging him, his obsession could very easily turn into revenge. Bernie may believe her nightmare is over, but in reality, it feels as though it is only entering a much darker phase. If Coronation Street continues to take this storyline further, Bernie could be heading toward a genuinely frightening confrontation, one where she is not only trapped by Mal's obsession, but also caught in the middle of Jodie's unpredictable actions. And when an obsessive man feels betrayed, the consequences rarely stop at threats alone.